Evet. Yeni oyunumuza başlayalım.
Dr. Watson, would you kindly close the door behind you so that we can limit the price of your carelessness to merely hours of work rather than days?
My apologies, Mr. Holmes. I found myself rather taken aback. I saw tidier houses in war-torn Afghanistan. Are those my surgical needles?
I ran out of tacks and the matter required immediate attention.
Was that my supper?
Plainly not, for I was the one who ate it.
I set it aside for this evening.
And for that I am grateful.
Is that my bed?
Watson, since you've proven yourself a master of observation, might I ask you to apply your skills to a more pertinent question? Namely, the whereabouts of today's newspapers. They are the key to everything. The newsboy is usually reliable.
Medically speaking, I often find that the key to everything is good sleep. In a bed. Your papers are here, on the table.
Let us see what the postman brought today.
Kamera bir garip geldi ya. Ne arıyoruz burada?
Local gossip, all of it uninteresting. Your order from Barnes' bookshop has arrived, Doctor.
Barnes insists on delivering the books to our door, even though we could easily walk to his shop. That's good service.
Another letter from Werner. I never reply, but they keep coming. I don't see the Strand. Where is it?
Pardon me?
I am on the precipice of uncovering a pattern of crime across London spanning many months and involving many men. The missing paper cannot be a coincidence.
That's preposterous.
My dear fellow, life is infinitely stranger than anything which the mind of man can invent.
Well, life used your newspaper to wipe its posterior, so after that unpleasant discovery this morning, I disposed of it. But in lieu of the Strand, perhaps I can deliver you something equally tantalizing. I have just returned from a patient of mine, Captain Stemwick, who...
No, that will not do. Grab your coat, Dr. Watson. Let us hope nobody has collected the dustbin.
Ne yapıyoruz? Şu andaki hiçbir şey anlamadım valla. Çöp kutusuna gideceğiz. Üstüme bir şey almayacağım ben. Gardırop mardırop yok burada. Hmm. Gardırop. Ama orada hava koşullarına uygun bir şey giy. Bu iyidir. Şapka. Şapkaya gerek yok. Gözlüğe de gerek yok. Bıyık. Oyunda sorun mu var? Bana mı öyle geliyor? Nereye gideceğim şimdi? Ekranda şey falan yok mu? Bunlar neymiş? Sıfırlayayım ben ya. Neyse onda kalsın. Hmm. Harita yok galiba. Kulaklık kapandı birden. Alışana kadar biraz vakit alacak herhalde. Ben neredeyim, ne yapacağım?
The dustbin is yours for the digging, Mr. Holmes.
Çöp kutusu nerede? Yakında bir yerdedir herhalde buralarda. Bak. Ha, dibimdeymiş hemen ya.
A cactus spine. If it gets in your skin, it's awfully tricky to remove, and when laced with poison, the perfect assassination tool. You were mistaken, Dr. Watson. The paper was indeed dirtied, but not how you implied. It's potting soil. See, Watson? The conspiracy is real. Someone tried to poison me.
Poison? You? That's madness.
Get the Strand. Get your copy of the Strand here.
Şimdi ne yapacağız? Allah Allah.
Get the Strand. Get your copy of the Strand here. Sorry, Mr. Holmes. I just sold my last paper.
Blast. Then why are you still here?
Boss pays by the hour. No sense in returning early.
Any breaking news today?
The dock accident. It's the talk of the town.
Yes, yes. Besides the tripe on the front page, anything about burglaries?
I'm not sure, sir.
You're a bright child. I presume you see everything that goes on around here?
Nothing gets past me, mister.
Then tell me, did you notice anyone suspicious at my door this morning?
Like the man with your newspaper?
Precisely. What do you know?
I know the value of a shilling.
Dr. Watson?
Sure, now I can take the day off.
Did you see what he was up to?
Nah, not really. I saw him approaching your house, but I had a customer. Then there's a loud bang. I ducked down. Not because I was scared, because I wasn't. I had to protect the merchandise. And all I could see was him kneeling at your door.
Can you describe the man you saw?
He was carrying a lot of books. Up to his chin they were.
Never heard of a well-read assassin.
Looks can deceive. Hence the appeal of disguises. Which way did he go?
Not sure. I was distracted by customers. Sorry.
All right. You earned your shilling. That'll be all.
Thanks, Mr. Holmes. Maybe I could be your eyes and ears. If you have more shillings.
Şimdi
Get the Strand. Get your copy of the Strand here.
zilin sayfasına git. Zilin sayfası burası. Evet.
Come now, Mr. Holmes. Murder? Yes, Barnes has his quirks, but he also has
Get the
his
Strand.
scruples.
Get...
Barnes Bookseller kitap satıcısı.
Get your copy of
Not
the
every
Strand
pawn
here.
knows it's part of a game.
Ne diyor orada? Yaşam kanıtları.
Get the Strand. Get...
Sabitleyebilirmişim.
Your copy of the Strand here. Get the Strand. Get your copy of the Strand here.
Bu yer nerede? Barnes kitapçısı. Burası. Eyvallah Selçuk. Sana Discord'dan bir şeyler yazdım. Arkadaş biri rica etti de. Ona bakarsın. Bunu çıkartalım. Aşağı. Bombacağı ağır. Burada da var. Gazeteleri bu bırakmıştı bize galiba.
Mr. Barnes, a word. Oh, for goodness sake.
Who goes there?
Sherlock Holmes. Now will you please?
Mr. Holmes. Golly, I did not see you come in.
Would you care to answer some questions for me?
Well, I wish I could, but I am deep in the weeds with work. How about we reschedule in a month or two?
Come now, Mr. Barnes. It will only take a moment.
No, really deep in the weeds with important things. Well, help yourself to any book. Just take it and pay later. I trust you, Mr. Holmes.
Barnes doesn't seem like himself. Why is he acting this way?
You're asking the right questions, Doctor. Let's find a way to
Devredeki
coax him out.
etkileşime geçebilir bölgelerin. Şu mu ki? Yok. Ha şurada.
The ladder is broken recently, judging by the freshness of the wood. So, Barnes has a dog now. Who's a good boy?
Apologies, but I can't hear you. Please come back later.
I could hardly imagine anything more macabre. Basics of cryptoanalysis, cryptography in Egypt. It appears Barnes has an interesting hobby.
Hmm. Şimdi ben hangi davadayım? Bu tamam. Bu kaldır. Ben hangisindeyim şimdi ya? Neyse dolaşalım.
The finest view London has to offer. In the language of Mycroft's secret agents, it's a sign. Dried flowers are replaced when the job is done. I wonder who the recipient is.
Diğer ipucu.
An improvised stand, but it does make the flowers more visible.
Barnes has always been a little odd, but this is uncharacteristic even for him.
Konuşuyorum bununla.
We're looking for a cactus needle in a haystack. A spine in a book stack? No, come on, Watson, think. I like bookshops. One of the few spots in London where you are shunned for making a racket.
Hello there. What's your name?
Lily, I know. Not very
Aleyküm
original.
selam, hoş geldin. Anlamadım burada ne yapacağım ya. İyi oyunu oynamaya çalışıyoruz, çözmeye çalışıyorum bakayım da. Beceremedim. Burada ne yapacağımızı.
Didn't you once tell me that answers usually lie in plain sight?
Aynen. Ha şuraya bu. Yok buraya baktım. Hmm. Sherlock mu? Evet. Bunu alalım. Yok olmadı. Hmm. Neymiş bu? Bunu tamamladık. Şimdi 40 merdivende bir ilgisi yoktur ya. Orada ne yapacağız arkadaş? Hala mı açmıyor bu kapıyı?
So, answers a dog now. Who's a good boy? The ladder is broken recently, judging by the freshness of the wood.
Buraya kanıt lazım büyük ihtimal. Vallahi başka ne oynayabiliriz ki? Resident Evil 2 oynayacaktım aslında da şu oyuna bir bakayım dedim. Nasılmış? Neymiş diye. Ha, kadınla konuşmadık.
The weather is dreary, isn't it? To be fair, my flowers could use the rainfall.
Şeyini anlasam oyunun bir içeriğini gerisi gelir de.
Didn't you once tell me that answers usually lie in
Ya
plain
ben
sight?
tamam, bu ipucu veriyor bana. Cevapların göz önünde olduğu diyor. Gözümüzün önünde ne var? Her yerde dik dik ettim. Fikri olan da yoktur herhalde burada. Onun gözünden bak. Ha, nasıl? Bu şekilde mi? Şu şekilde mi? Kitaplar. Kitaplarda hiç yok öyle ya bir şey.
Didn't you once tell me that answers usually lie in plain sight?
Vallahi onun baktığı kitaplarda okuyorum. Pek bir şey yok.
So, answer's a dog now.
O beni takip ediyor ya.
Didn't you once tell me that answers usually lie in plain sight?
Aynı yere bakıyor, evet. Şunları okuyalım bakalım. Barnes ne kadar, neden bu kadar garip davranıyor demiş. Bu şimdi şeyleri okuyalım. Şunlar işaretli olanlar herhalde tamamlanmış mı oluyor? Hmm. Yama kurulum hakkında. Hangi yama? Beho, hoş geldin bu arada hocam. İyi, Türkçe yaması var mı onun? Ha, biri daha geldi ki. Aa, Mücahit gelmiş kanka benim. Türkçe yaması varsa yama kurulumda açıklanıyor mu? Açıklamıyor mu yani? Açıklaması lazım ya. Burada kaldık ya. Şaka gibi arkadaş. Yok mu arkadaş bilen bir kimse ya? Anladım. Bakarız ona ya. Yürümü falan uyuyordur sanırım. Oyunun sürümü falan uyuyor değil mi? Ee, Nereden kontrol edebilirsin? Oyunun menüsünde falan yazmıyor mu? Aa, tamam tamam ona bakalım. Oy Allah'ım ya.
Didn't you once tell me that answers usually lie in
Acaba şu zihin sarayında mı bir şeyler yapacağız diyeceğim ama. Ama bitmiyor. Barnes neden bu kadar garip davranıyor? Vallahi YouTube'dan ya oyunun şeyini çözsem ha bu ikon sabitlemek için bütün göster. Tamam. Şeyi sabitleyelim madem. Aa,
plain sight?
ya bunu yaptım ben. Orada bu ikon yok bizde. Konsantrasyon. Ah, mantığını anlasam. Mantığını anlayamadım tam olarak. He, şurada bitki gördüm. Hmm. Abi bunu
Encouraging
ben
people to stop
nereden
and smell
bileyim?
the roses.
Dışarı
Our
koymuş.
national emblem. God save the Queen.
It must take patience and care to produce a bloom so beautiful.
I imagine so. I merely sell them.
The pot is damaged. The blow was severe, but softened by something.
İki. Üçüncüsü nerede? Buradaymış. Heh,
Familiar spine. Is this what I found in my dustbin?
tamam bu da bitti.
Anything tickle your fancy, Mr. Holmes?
Ortamı kaçacağım. Bir tane kaldı. O da nerede? Ha şurada. Bilek mi yoksa bir şeyleri gizlemek için mi? Hala yas tutuyor diyelim ya.
My condolences, Mrs. Fleming.
Mr. Holmes?
Your husband's death. You're clearly still in mourning.
Oh no. I loved him more than anything, of course, but that was some time ago now.
Bu Discord'da biri gelse de aslında bu
Lesson we
oyun
all learn in one
zevkli
way or
olur.
another.
Beraber çözersek.
I'll be off.
Hem konuşarak hem şey hakkında konuşacaksak gel. Oyunu çözmeye yönelik. Ha, yeni kanıtlar gelmiş şimdi. Şimdi şu kaktüsü bir alalım. Ha, kanıtı çıkartalım. Bunu geç. Geliyor geliyor. Karak Ya bazı cevaplar gözünün önünde diyor ya onu kastetti herhalde de. Sherlock değil biz şey yapmamız lazım. Buraya kanıt mı bulmamız lazım? Kanıtla ilişkilendir. Yok. Daha o zaman içeri gireceğiz. İçeride belki bir şeyler yeni bir şeyler olabilir. Yok. Şu kanıtı ilişken aman söyleyemedim ya dilim dolandı. Kaldırdım. Kitapları da şunları bir kaldırayım o zaman. Kanıtı çıkar diyor. Heh. Şimdi kanıtı çıkar. Nerede kanıtı çıkar ya? Kırk merdivenle işimiz yok. Kronolojik kitapları. Şunu alalım. Yok. Ya onu şey yaptık mı? Bunlara tıklayamıyoruz. Tamam, şuradan bakalım belgelere. Ne demiş? Çatlamışlar kompiyonu ama eski sarma. Onunla işimiz yok. O olabilir. Kanıt işkilendir diyek. Yok. Burada soru işareti var. Bu hala duruyor burada niyeyse. Ya oyunun bir mantığını çözsem. Böyle bir daha etrafa şu şekilde bakayım. Az önce böyle bulmuştum. Gireceğim de. Yok. Hiçbir şey yok. Dükkana nereye giriyorsun? Dükkanlar kapalı. Yok. Konuşulmuyor bunlarla da. Kanıt bu mu? Ne sunacağız?
I'm afraid I can't help her, Mr. Holmes.
One is the exiting not like the other.
Come again?
The characters, those fierce spines can prove a devil to remove, and the sap is often toxic.
And a rosethorn can
Tamam,
give you
bir tane
tetanus,
bakalım
but
da.
we still grow them. The cactus seems comparatively harmless, though you have me thinking it must be valuable.
I was under the impression that you knew its price already.
Your guess is as good as mine. The first time I saw this cactus was when I came back from my break.
Ya 2 tane gitti. Satılık güller.
Are you sure you're asking the right person? I'm just a flower seller.
What do you make of the flowers in Barnes' shop window?
Tek tek seçiyorum ya.
They use a bit of water.
Do they mean anything to you?
Mean anything how? I'm not sure I follow, Mr. Holmes.
Why do you think they're there?
Are you suggesting the flowers are for me?
It seems likely, does it not?
Oh, I hope you're right. I'm afraid I can't help with that, Mr. Holmes. I don't know anything about this, sorry. Are you sure you're asking the right person? I'm just a flower seller.
Are you familiar with Mr. Barnes?
Yes, no, not really. Well, in a way.
What on earth does that mean?
I know
Önümüze
who
ne
he
tuş
is, of
gelirse
course,
basıyoruz şu an.
but we haven't shared much more than a look.
A look?
Yes. Each morning I go for a walk in the park with my dog.
Vallahi bilemeyeceğim
And most
kadın ne
days I
diyecek de.
spot Mr. Barnes there with his new puppy. So we see each other. Actually, we once met briefly while our dogs played. He was quiet and seemed unsteady as he approached. But since then, we've never spoken. I often see him staring through the shop window. Sometimes I wonder what he thinks about that would etch such longing onto his face.
Kadının mı?
I should have worn
3
something
kanıt
warmer.
güncellendi diyor. Tamam. Buraya bir şeyler gelmiş. Kanıt. Şimdi. Belge geldi. İyi de bunlara çıkar şey yapamıyoruz. Bayan şeyin ifadesi. Tamam. Şimdi kırıkma. Bunu alalım. Yok. Tamam, hallettik. Ne diyor? Bana çekip yapalım. Orada olayı anlatıyor ya. Tamam. Bu da bitti.
I think perhaps I have been chasing shadows.
Do not despair, Mr. Holmes. Even the best of us make mistakes. You
Şimdi
better tell Mr. Barnes what we've learned.
hala kapı açılmıyor. Ha,
Mr. Barnes, I know what you did, and I know why you did it.
I'm sorry, Mr. Holmes. I can't hear you very well from behind the door.
You ordered a cactus from the plant catalogue and then left it for Mrs. Fleming as a gift. You place flowers in the window to get her attention and wear high heels to appear taller and more desirable. You are her secret admirer. I couldn't read this morning's edition of The Strand because it was covered in soil and spines. I know you dropped a cactus on it and then fled.
Barnes, it's Dr. Watson. Rest assured we are not interested in disclosing your personal affairs to anyone, including Mrs. Fleming. Please come out.
All right then.
So, you know what happened then? I was on my way back from the post office, having picked up the cactus and some books. It was quite an awkward package, heavy too, and when I got to your door, I dropped the cactus and your paper. Forgive me.
I needed that paper to prove a theory and prevent a crime. Your actions were rather disruptive. Your clumsiness carrying the post is matched only by the clumsiness of your romantic gesture.
Oh, it's true. I am useless with this sort of thing. I'm not even sure if Mrs. Fleming noticed.
I have neither the experience nor the interest in navigating the finer sex and their peculiarities. Do what you will.
Oh, right. Yes, of course.
So, at last, we return to the matter of the paper. I'm investigating a string of burglaries. Did you perhaps read of any before the edition was spoiled?
I don't recall, but you're welcome to read our copy for yourself.
You had an issue of The Strand here all along?
Well, naturally. I am a bookseller. I have a subscription to every magazine and newspaper in London.
So you ought to be familiar with the concept of burying the lead.
Oh no, my apologies, Mr. Holmes. I'll make it up to you however I can. I am an expert on obscure languages and translation and.
Yes, okay. Just give me the paper. Come, Dr. Watson. Let us put this matter behind us.
Farewell, Mr. Barnes. I hope to hear good news about you and Mrs. Fleming.
evet.
Well, that was an utter waste of time.
An assassination did seem rather unlikely.
There was supposed to be another burglary. I was certain of it. Something you wish to say, Doctor?
No? Well, only that you have a remarkable faculty for deduction and pattern recognition, and that perhaps, if ill-applied...
I see things that are not there.
Yes. It is London. There will always be burglaries. Doesn't have to mean anything.
So it seems. Forgive me. Without something to occupy my mind, I turn into an entirely different animal.
Which brings us back to my news from earlier. I think I have a case for you, a real one.
Truly?
Indeed. Though perhaps not as thrilling as your stories from Cordona. A patient of mine, Captain Stenwick, told me that his servant disappeared. I said I knew just the man to help. What do you say?
Oh, Watson.
Yes, I know it's not the most tantalizing mystery, nor the story to launch my writing career. But
It's brilliant. Let's go.
Oh, good. Well, his house is nearby. Come.
Bu taraftan gidiyoruz. Tamam.
Not much further now.
Aa, burası mı? Kapı açılmış.
Is this lousy attitude of yours because of my altercation with Inspector Lockhart? Did he put you up to this?
Sir, the inspector
Olur.
has nothing to do with it. I'm telling you the same thing I tell anyone seeking a missing person.
Good day, gentlemen. Forgive the intrusion. Captain Stenwick, this is my colleague Sherlock Holmes, the consulting detective I told you about.
At last, a professional. This useless officer refuses to do anything about Kimmy here, my missing servant. What was your name again? I shall be certain to inform your superiors.
Sergeant Ruffles, and it's my superiors who made this decision, sir.
Why has the police department decided not to help?
We investigate murders, thefts, fraud, arson, real crimes. A servant walking away from his master is not our highest priority. That said, if we find Kimahia breaking the law, we'll be sure to notify Captain Stenwick.
Have there been other disappearances lately?
Of course, here and there. But when life is tough and opportunity comes knocking, you can't blame those who answer. Now, I must be off. Best of luck in your search.
You heard that, didn't you? The way that man spoke to me. I shall need your written testimony. Then we can lodge a complaint.
Captain, perhaps Mr. Holmes' time is better spent learning about your servant, so that he may begin his investigation.
Ah, yes. Quite right. Fire away.
Vallahi
Tell me
bilmiyorum
about
bakalım.
Kimahia.
He's foreign. A Maori. All the way from New Zealand. Biggest man you've ever seen. And as strong as two. Dark hair and fearsome tattoos. He doesn't speak a whit of English. Never bothered to learn. But I made do with pointing. I invested a lot of money in him, so he must be found.
When did you last see your servant?
Kimmy here normally brings me the morning papers, but yesterday I had to get them myself. He must have escaped the night before yesterday.
May I see your servant's bedroom?
His shack is in the garden. You can't miss it.
Did you search the room?
Of course, but only to check he wasn't lying dead inside. Everything seemed normal at a glance.
I take it this is the first time Kimahia has vanished?
Undoubtedly. The man seemed terrified of the city. I think it was all the noise. He never left this estate. Should he cause any damage, I will bear the responsibility, for it was I who
Bilmiyorum işte
rescued him
onu
from savagery
daha
and brought him
konuşuyorlar
here to
bakalım.
England in the first place.
Is there any reason Kimahia may have left?
I should think not. He had all he could have wanted. Gainful employment, new clothes, and all the cabbage he could eat.
Did Kimahia make off with anything of value?
Heavens, no. I would have mentioned it to Sergeant Ruffles.
Still, he must have fled with some money on his person.
No, no. I kept his wages in my safe. For security.
All right, Captain. I think I
Yani.
have enough to get started. We shall
Dur
first
bakalım.
take a look around the mansion.
Go ahead. I'll be here, mentally drafting my complaint.
Yatak odası neredeydi? Dışarıda mı dediydi o? Dışarıda dedim. Şuradan bir yerden mi giriliyor? Hizmetçilerin odası. Ha, burası galiba.
These were sturdy boxes. It would have required a serious blow to break them. A scrap of Hessian. Clothes made of Hessian. Is Stenwick really so miserly? A Maori nose flute. Ngurus, they're called. No air coming through it. Button chops, the remains of a meal. chemical odor. Lend me your nose, Doctor.
Ah, I'll never forget that smell after my time in Afghanistan. That's
The
an
ashes are
opioid,
long
Mr.
since
Holmes, a
cold.
narcotic.
Veya
Is this a taniwha, a Maori water spirit, or something else?
Either way, it's giving me chills. Stenwick makes his servant live in a tool shed. You think you know someone.
Impressive. The sack of grain retained the shape of an impact. Someone hit their head here. A small navy spyglass.
Do you think Kimmy here had an accomplice in his escape?
büyük ihtimal. Şimdi kanıt birleştireceğiz. Zaten pek de bir şey yokmuş ya. Aa, varmış bayağı ya. Kulübe. Bu yeşiller biten herhalde. Yok. Yok. İki tane de şey lazım galiba. Şunu çıkart. Aynen. Allah'ım şu kanıtları çıkartalım be konu. Şimdi bir yeşil, bir mavi. Kanıt. Tam olmadı ya. Biri tamam. Şu bir tane sarı bulacağız. Bahçedeki ipuçları tamam. Ya şey diyorum şu bunları birleştireceğiz gene galiba. Şimdi bunda şu adamın yanına gidelim bakalım. Kanıt.
Where on earth are you going with this? Where on earth are you going with this? Are you joking? Why would I know this? Where on earth are you going with this? Where on earth are you going with this? Where on earth are you going with this?
Is this spyglass
Ah.
familiar?
I don't recognize it.
Could it be Kimahia's, perhaps?
I doubt it. I never saw him with it, nor could I suggest how he might have come by it.
I came across a pile of Hessian clothes in the shack. Are they Kimahia's?
Yes, I had to give him something to clothe himself. He seemed unfazed by his bare skin, but
Ne oldu şimdi?
why are you still here? If you find my man, I have a marvelous whiskey with your name on it.
Neyse ya sıkıldım valla. Kapatayım. Bir de yemek falan yerim. Hadi görüşürüz. İyi akşamlar. Sağ ol.